Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Priyanshi Agarwal and today I'm here with a new topic, that is tissues part first. In this video we will be completing the part first of the tissues, that is plant tissues, and in the second topic of this chapter only I will be coming with the second video, that is part 2 of animal tissues. Starting with a simple introduction, in unicellular organisms a single cell performs all the vital activities, for example digestion, respiration, excretion, etc. In case of multicellular organisms, spatial functions are performed by different groups of cells possessing a well-developed division of labor to provide highest possible efficiency of particular function. Nothing else but division of labor is there in multicellular organisms. A tissue is defined as a group of cells with similar structure organized to do a same function. Term tissue was coined by Bishop, and the branch of biology which deals with the study of tissue is called histology. Starting with the differences between plants and animal tissues, plant tissues are dead supportive tissues and are more abundant as compared to living tissues. But in animal tissues, living cells are more common as compared to dead tissues. They require less maintenance energy, but in animal tissues, animals require more maintenance energy. There is a differentiation of meristematic and permanent tissue in plants that we will be discussing later. In animal tissue, such a differentiation is absent. Tissue organization is towards stationary habit in plants, whereas tissue organization is not in a stationary habit in animal. Here we can see this is a plant tissue and this is an animal tissue. According to the mind map, plant tissue is divided into two types, that is meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue is further divided into three parts, that is apical meristem, lateral meristem and intercalary meristem, whereas permanent tissue is divided into simple and complex. In simple permanent tissue, it is divided into parenchyma, collenchyma and scalenchyma. In complex permanent tissue, it is divided into xylem and phloem. Coming with meristematic tissues, these are simply living tissues having the thin cell walls and are arranged in an immature form. These cells are capable for division and formation of new cells. Means division of these cells, or these cells can divide. Actively dividing cells are present in growing regions of the plants like root and shoot tips. Means from where the region of the plants they can grow, these meristematic tissues are found there. Thin primary cell wall is too present. Intercellular spaces are absent. Vacuoles are absent, have dense cytoplasm and prominent nuclei are present. Large number of cell organelles are present. Even active metabolical state, means stored food, or means the capability of storing, is absent in meristematic tissues. Meristematic tissues also classified on the basis of origin, like promeristem, primary meristem and secondary meristem. Promeristem means it is the first meristem which developed during embryonic stage. Primary meristem derived directly from the meristems of embryo and they add to the primary growth of the plant. Secondary meristem, they are formed by permanent tissues. These are having cells derived from the permanent tissue and they usually add to the diameter of the plants. Firstly, it was a permanent tissue and through the differentiation it goes in the secondary meristem. So as I told, meristematic tissues is divided into three parts, that is apical meristematic tissues, intercalary meristematic tissues and lateral meristematic tissues. Apical meristematic tissues, they are present at the growing tips of the stems and roots, help in the elongation of the stem and roots and thus help in primary growth of the plant. Intercalary meristematic tissues present at the base of a leaf and internode region helps in increasing the length of a leaf. Lateral meristematic tissues give rise to the vascular tissues and causes growth in the breadth of stem and root and they are responsible in secondary growth. As we can see here, from this region the plant used to grow, so the apical meristem is present here just to increase the size of the plant and it helps in the primary growth of the plant. Intercalary meristem is present at the base of the leaf and it also present in the area from where the branches are grown. It decreases the length of leaf. Lateral meristematic tissues, they are present in the bottom of the plant and it helps in the growth of breadth and it also helps in the secondary growth of a plant. Permanent tissue, which is the another second type of a plant tissue. The permanent tissues are composed of those cells which lost the capability to divide. Means these cells cannot divide. They have definite shape, size and thickness and they can be dead or living. So first of all, differentiation between meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. In meristematic tissue, cells are small and may be round or oval or rectangular in shape, but in permanent tissue, cells are large and of different shapes according to the type of tissue. Cells are thin-walled in meristematic tissues, where cells are thin or thick-walled in permanent tissue. Cells are rich in cytoplasm, where cytoplasm is present as a layer along the cell wall. Nucleus is present in meristematic tissues, whereas nucleus is small in size in permanent tissue. Vacuoles are absent, whereas large central vacuole is present in permanent tissue. Intercellular spaces are absent in meristematic tissues, but intercellular spaces are present in permanent tissue. Power of cell division is present, means meristematic tissues can divide, but they lack the power of cell divisions. Permanent tissues cannot divide. Always living cells are found, maybe living or dead cells are found in permanent tissue. So starting with the permanent tissue, it is divided into simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. So simple permanent tissue, the permanent tissues are protective and supporting, and the tissue is composed of a single type of a cell. Firstly, it is parenchyma. Tissues first time evolved in bryophyta, thin cell walled, oval or spherical in structure. Cell wall mainly composed of cellulose and pectin. Parenchyma provides turgidity to the cell. Large central vacuole for food and water storage. Primary function is to store food. In typical parenchyma, chlorophyll is absent. Chloroplast obtaining parenchyma tissues are chlorenchyma which perform photosynthesis. In hydrophyta plants, parenchyma provides buoyancy. Means in parenchyma, they are thin cell walls, oval or spherical in structure. As we can see in this picture, they are oval or spherical in structure. They have a cell wall composed of cellulose and pectin, and they provide turgidity, rigidity or toughness to the plant. They have a large central vacuole for the storage of a food, and the main function of a parenchyma is to store food. Mainly the parenchyma do not have the chlorophyll, but the parenchyma which have the chlorophyll, those parenchyma are known as chlorenchyma, and they help in the function of photosynthesis. In water plants, like aquatic plants, parenchyma provides buoyancy. Second type of simple permanent tissue is collenchyma. It is a living mechanical tissue, elongated cells with thick corners, localized cellulose and pectin thickening. It gives mechanical strength, responsible for easy bending of plants and present only in a dicot stem and at the margin of a leaf. In the diagram we can see that they are having thickening at the corners, elongated cells and thickening at the corners. This thickening is due to the cellulose and pectin, and they gives mechanical strength. They are mainly responsible for easy bending of a plants, like collenchyma is present in the stems which helps in the bending, present only in the dicot stem and the margin of a leaf. Sclerenchyma gives strength to the tissue. Cells are dead with little or no protoplasm and possess very thick lignified walls. Lignin is waterproof material. Intercellular spaces are absent. In sclerenchyma, there is no intercellular spaces, whereas in parenchyma, intercellular spaces is very much. In collenchyma, it is little bit, but in sclerenchyma, no intercellular spaces, and they are very thick. They are very thick, and the cells are dead. They are thick because of the lignin, and it is a waterproof material, and they are mainly found in the husk of a coconut. The main function is to give the strength to the tissue and provides rigidity. Epidermis forms one cell thick outermost layer of various body organs of plants such as leaves, flowers, stems and roots, and the main definition of the epidermis is the outer covering of any part of a plant, mainly the leaves. Epidermis is the outer covering by a cuticle. It is a waterproof layer of waxy substance, means this is a chemical substance and it is a waterproof layer and called cutin. This chemical substance is made from cutin, which is secreted by the epidermal cells. Epidermal cell provides or secretes this cutin. Cells of epidermis of leaves are not continuous at some places due to the presence of small pores called stomata. Stomata are the small pores present on the leaves. Each stomata is guarded by a pair of bean-shaped cells called guard cells. These are only the epidermal cells which possesses chloroplast, the rest being colorless. As stomata only helps in the photosynthesis process, so these are the only cells which provides chloroplast, rest all other are colorless. Main function of the epidermis is to protect the plant from infection. Stomata in epidermis allows gaseous exchange to occur during photosynthesis and respiration. These are the main points. And stomata also helps in transpiration. In older roots and stems, tissues become cork cell. As we see sometimes that in the plant, the trunk in trees, the trunk becomes very old. So these tissues become cork cell. Cork cell is made up of dead cells. That's why they are very stiff and hard, with thick cell walls and do not have any intercellular spaces. These cell walls in a cork deposit waxy substance called suberin. The cells of cork become impermeable to water and gases due to the deposition of suberin, and the cork cells are without any protoplasm. Functions of cork: they are protective cells, prevent from infection and mechanical injury because they are very hard. Toughness, lightness makes the cork commercially valuable. Cork is used for the insulation as a shock absorber too, and cork is even used in making a variety of sports goods such as cricket balls, etc. Now, the second type of a permanent tissue, this is complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissues means the conductant which transfer one thing to the another. Tissue is composed of more than one type of a cell. It consists of more than one type of a cell which works together as a unit. It helps in transportation of organic materials, water and minerals. It is known for as conducting or vascular tissue. Mainly it is xylem vessel and phloem vessel. Xylem, also known as wood, as and is a vascular and mechanical tissue. Xylem, it transports water and minerals. Thick walled cells are found in the form of tabular passages. It consists of four types of elements, that are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma, even headroom. So you can see here the picture or the elements of xylem. Xylem elements, tracheids, they are elongated, angular, thick and dead cells mainly involved in conduction of water and minerals. So as we know, xylem mainly transports water and minerals. So from tracheids they used to transport. Vessels, these are advanced elements. Vessels are cylindrical in shape and they are placed one above other, which forms a continuous channel for efficient conduction of water. Xylem parenchyma, they are small and thick walled cells subjected for storage of food, mainly the starch. As we know, the main food for the leaves or for the plant is a starch. That's why the starch starch, also known as food for the plants, is passed or transported from the xylem parenchyma. Xylem sclerenchyma, they are non-living fibers with thick cell walls and narrow cavity. As they are non-living, that's why they are thick, and narrow cavities provide mechanical support. Except xylem parenchyma, all other elements are dead. Means only the xylem parenchyma is living. In xylem elements, rest all are dead. Headroom, its tracheas and vessels are collectively called headroom. The annual rings present on the trunk of a tree are xylem rings. By counting these annual rings, we can determine the age of the tree. Phloem elements. Phloem means the tissues which transfer food from one part to the another part of a plant. They contain both parenchyma and sclerenchyma cells. The main four elements are the sieve tubes, companion cell, phloem fibers, and phloem parenchyma. Sieve tubes are slender tube-like structures made up of elongated, thin-walled cells placed end to end. The end walls of sieve tubes are perforated by numerous pores called sieve tubes. Nucleus of sieve cells degenerates. Sieve cells possesses slime protein, or protein which is concerned with the growth and repair of sieve cells. Means that protein helps in the growth and repairing of the sieve cells. Companion cells have dense cytoplasm and prominent nuclei. Sieve cells and companion cells are so called sister cell because they used to generate from a single mother cell. Phloem fibers, they give mechanical support to sieve tubes, and phloem parenchyma, they store food and help in the radial conduction of food. Radial conduction of food means transporting of a food or conduction of food. Leptom, it is a main part of a phloem involved in the conduction of food, which is sieve tube. Except phloem parenchyma, all elements are living. Here, except phloem parenchyma, all elements are living. Rest, phloem parenchyma is dead. So you can see here the phloem tissue, phloem parenchyma, companion cell, sieve tube, which is very important, slime body, cytoplasmic strands, sieve tubes, lignified balls, lumen. Differences between xylem and phloem. Xylem parenchyma, only living cells, remaining cells are dead, whereas in phloem parenchyma, only dead cells remaining, all cells are living. It carries minerals, salts and water, whereas in phloem, it carries an organic solution of water. In xylem, an movement is only upward because the roots absorb the minerals and water. That's why they provide those water and mineral to the other parts of the plant through an upward direction, whereas in phloem the movement can be upward or downward because the food is mainly made in the leaves. That's why it can be upward or downward. So thank you for listening this, and hope you enjoyed it. And in the next video I will be coming with the next topic, that is a part 2, that is animal tissue. Till then, take care. Bye bye.